This is something to talk about from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center, and we meet here online Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except on holidays and occasionally on other times. So to check out when we're meeting and what we're talking about, go to biseniorcenter.org/calendar, and you can see upcoming events. Today is the first Wednesday of the month, and that's when we have been checking in with John Chen. He graciously graces us with his wisdom about all things technical, and we really appreciate that. And not only those of you who are here, but those of you who are watching online know that we also have tech support at the Senior Center, sometimes from John and from other folks as well. You can call our front desk at 842-1616 to see if you need some one-on-one support. You can get it scheduled. The other thing that I want to do is mention that Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island is a sponsor of the Something to Talk About programs. And they are located up on Rolling Bay. They have memory care. They're about to open assisted and independent living as well. Call 360-689-4314. Thank you, John, once again.
Hi, Reed. Hi, everyone. And before I get started, just to let you know, Reed, that I will be sharing a screen. Okay. A few months ago, I had mentioned about having a wallet on your phone, on your smartphone. And that got different people thinking about it and started asking me, well, how do I get started? So today's first part will be focused on how to add things to your phone's wallet. And when I say phone, I'm referring to a smartphone. And that can be an Apple phone, it can be a Samsung phone, or Android. There are so many brands out there. So any of the Android phones, essentially any smartphone. And I will switch on my share screen. Today, we're going to talk about two different topics. And the first half is going to be on digital wallet. And the second half is about what do I do when my phone runs out of storage? So, okay. Your phone's digital wallet. Why would you want to use it? And is it really safe? And the answer to that, yes, it is safer than carrying your real plastic credit card. And I'll tell you why. Digital wallet is not your real, doesn't have your real credit card. And when you add your credit card, and by the way, you can add as many credit cards as you wish. It can be credit card, it can be debit card, and you can add them to your digital wallet. And there's a process that goes through between your phone and the bank. And once that validation is done, the bank actually issues a second number to your credit card. And it is a weird number. It follows the standard format of a credit card number, but it doesn't belong to anyone other than your card. And that card, by the way, has some uniqueness to it. I'll explain it in a little bit. In addition, this second number, if for any reason you don't like it, or if you think somebody stole it, by the way, and if anybody steals it, it's still safe, and I'll explain. But if for any reason you don't like that second number, you can ask for a new number, so you don't have to cancel your credit card. All you have to do is ask for a new think of it as a virtual credit card number. Okay, your real card is never visible on your phone. In fact, it isn't even stored on your phone. And no one can steal your actual credit card number. You can have your real card with a real expiration date and your real CVV code safely stored in a bank safe deposit box, if you like. What you're carrying around on your person in the phone is a second number. And I'll get in more into that. Because of that, if your phone contains, think of it as a fake number. It's not fake. The bank knows about it, but it is not your real credit card number. Your phone itself is secured by a passcode or a touch ID or a face ID. Because of that, you should always pick a really good, complex passcode, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't do that. If your phone has Face ID or Touch ID, definitely make use of it. Okay. Apple, this is the logo Apple uses, and Google uses this logo, and Samsung phone uses this logo. Apple logo will always look like that. Google and Samsung, Google, it may look a little bit different. What happens is Google created the Android operating system for the phones, and it is for different companies to use. And that company can custom tailor it to a different logo. But usually most Android phones, they will leave this logo the way it is. Okay, these apps should already be on your phone when you purchase the phone. If for some reason it's not, or if it's not showing up, or if in the past you said, oh, I'm not going to use Apple any wallet, so I'm going to delete it. So if you had deleted it, you can get a new copy from Apple Store or Google Play Store or the Samsung Store. Okay. In the case for Apple, you'll see the Apple. This is the logo, and I have a red circle around it. If you click on this logo, you'll get the first page of the Apple Wallet. And in this case, for me, I have these cards, and there's a plus sign. So if I want to add a new credit card or a debit card to my wallet, I would click the plus sign. And you'll notice that these cards, they do look like my real card, except there's no credit card number in it. It's just blank. Okay, let's say we do want to add a card. We hit the plus sign. This is what really happens. When you click the plus sign, your phone's wallet will tell you, okay, take your phone's camera and aim it at the credit card. And the camera would take a picture of the credit card and send it to the bank. Or in some cases, you may want to manually enter it by keying in the number into the wallet app. The phone's wallet app will talk to your bank or credit union. And right here, it depends on the card issuer, if it's Bank of America, if it's Citibank, if it's Kitsap Credit Union, all of those, they will talk to those card issuers will talk to your phone. They may have slightly different steps involved, but at the end, the bank will send a new credit card number to your phone. And when it's done, your card will be in your wallet, in your phone's wallet. Now, there's some uniqueness about that number. Your real card number is not stored anyplace. Think of it as you have your real credit card, and the second you add it to your wallet, you have a second credit card. And the second credit card can only be used on your phone. In other words, if somebody else steals that second credit card number and try to use it, the bank says, wait a minute, that number is supposed to belong to so-and-so's phone, and you are not on that phone, so I'm going to turn it down. So that number can only be used on one single phone on the whole planet, and that's your phone. And if somebody steals it, it's totally useless to them. You, if for some reason you think, oh, somebody might have stolen it, first of all, relax. Nobody can steal it as long as you have secured your phone. But if you think somebody stole it, you can just use your wallet and says, okay, this second credit card number, I don't want it anymore. Give me a third one. All this time, your real credit card is safely hidden at home. Okay. If you now you're ready to use your credit card at a cash register, look for a contactless payment logo on the point of sale device. Meaning, if you're at the grocery store, there is a little box or a little gadget sitting on the counter where you normally would tap your plastic card. And you'll see a logo similar to one of these. That is where you will be tapping your phone. Now, just like as you're, let's say you're in a grocery store, as you're going through the line and the cashier is checking your items, you normally will have your credit card out of your wallet, ready to pay it. Same with the phone. I'll recommend as you're going through the line, wake up your phone. If it's on an Apple device, there's a side button, you double click it, and the phone will authenticate your identity using Face ID, Touch ID, passcode, whatever you have implemented. For Google and Samsung, you open the wallet app, and steps may be slightly different depending on what brand it is, but all the phones will validate to make sure you are who you really say you are. And as I said earlier, that you can have as many cards as you wish in this wallet. You can also say, all right, I have 5 credit cards in my wallet. I want to use this specific one as a default card. That means if I don't pick anything else, just use the one that I have already picked out. Or you can say, all right, I'm in this store and I want to use a different card for this store. So at this point, you'll pick out which card you want to use and hold your phone about 1 inch away from that logo, which you see in the top right corner. At the end of that, you'll hear a beep. Your phone may show you the word done or some validation that says you're done. Okay, some additional tips. Not all the credit card and debit cards can be entered the phone's wallet. mainly because not all the banks participate in this. For example, let's see. I have a Citibank card that I got from Costco. I have no problem adding that to my phone's wallet. I also have a credit card from Sears, and the Sears also from Citibank. And the Sears card, they decided that they're not going to participate in mobile payment. So I could not add the Sears credit card into my phone's wallet. And it's every company decide how much money they want to spend to support mobile wallet. So not all the credit cards or debit card can be added to the wallet. And two, not all the point of sale devices or merchants will accept contactless payment. Now, Home Depot and Walmart and some of the others, they decided that they don't want a generic mobile payment method. They want to create their own. So they have decided that if you want to use mobile payment, you have to use their app. And in other words, if you go to Walmart and ask them about mobile, they will say you have to use a Walmart card and you cannot use a regular phone wallet. Home Depot doesn't support it. I know Lowe's, I think they do. Also, if you see the logo on this unit, on this cashier's unit, the merchant may not have the current software to support it. For example, there's one restaurant I go to, and she has this little cash register, and the cash register has a point of sale terminal. It does have a little logo, but that's not, she decided not to implement it. Also, let's see, Bed Bath and Beyond, all of their cashiers workstation has this logo, but and if you try to use it, they will say, well, we don't support it. You physically have to stick the card into the machine. So meaning you have to use a real credit card. For restaurants, most of the US restaurants would just take your card and later come back with your card and your receipt. Canadian restaurants, even as far back as 2007, that's when I first encountered it, they will bring a little terminal to your table and they'll leave it on your table. You can use your phone's wallet. You can put in the tip and etc. and the transaction is done. And by the way, if you go to Red Robin, that's very similar to what Red Robin has already set up at their restaurants. Okay. Because not every place would take a phone wallet, you should always have one plastic card in your actual wallet. And maybe a plastic card that has a very low credit union, very low credit limit, just in case you lose it, right? And so this way you can, majority of the places that you can use your phone wallet, but in those rare cases that you can't, you will have a single plastic card for you to use. Okay, and if you have a compatible smartwatch, the wallet can also be used the same way. In other words, you'll hold your watch next to the point of sale terminal and it will ding. Okay. So it is really safer than carrying your actual credit cards. And so as I've said before, always lock your phone using a secure method. pick a really good and complex passcode and use Face ID, Touch ID, or whatever is available on your phone. Okay. So, any questions on that so far?
Not a question, but I was following along with your instructions, and
Mhm.
I have a Bank of America credit card. And
Okay.
the message was, this card is not eligible for Apple Pay.
Ah, okay. So, let me think. Is this card have a co-sponsor like Alaska Airline or?
No, it doesn't, but it is, with the Bank of America card, I did have my card hacked a while back. So I make sure that this is on a fraud alert. So maybe that says something.
Oh, okay, okay. And you might be able to get hold of B of A and say, I want to add this to Apple Card to
Yeah, okay,
mobile payment.
all right. I'll do that.
Okay. And let me know how it turns out.
Okay.
Okay. What other questions do you have concerning phone wallet? And just to let you know, for myself, depending on where I go and what I buy, I have 2 or 3 different cards. And like if I go to restaurants, I use certain card. If I go to grocery store, I use a different card, mainly because different cards have rebates or cash back. And depending on which one is more favorable, I would use a certain card. And because of that, it was a sort of a pain carrying 2, 3 cards in my wallet. So I've eliminated all of them. And everything is in my wallet, in my phone's wallet. And I carry one card that I cannot add to my phone's wallet. That one card is what I use in my actual wallet. So I'm only carrying one card, and my wallet is now a lot skinnier. All right, and it's a lot safer. So what other questions do you have about the wallet? Now, oh, there's another thing. Usually when you get your credit card receipt, that receipt on the bottom, it shows the credit card you actually used for that charge. That number is not your real credit card number. It is that second or third credit card number. In other words, think of it as the fake number, right? So when you're looking at a credit card receipt, if you look at that number, you have to remember that is not your real card number. So even if somebody else steals that receipt, it is still useless to them. But it means something to you, it means something to the bank. When you get your statement from the bank, all the transactions you have made using your phone will come across looking just like you used your real credit card. There's nothing that says, oh, you're using the phone on this, you're using the plastic card on that. It all shows up into a single statement, just like you have been getting it before. Okay, if you think of any questions later about it, or if you try to set it up and come across some issues, just send me a text, and or you can let the senior center know and they'll relay the info to me. All right. Let's go to the second topic. Second topic is about your phone or tablet. It becomes full, and what do you do? And a lot of people have encountered this, and they have asked me about it. And there are a lot of answers to that, but you really have to look at what is causing your phone to get full. Okay, for most of us, non-business users, meaning home users, the main causes are photos. Because taking pictures is now essentially free, you don't have to get it developed to see the pictures, so you end up snapping your camera a lot. You may end up getting 3, 4, 5 pictures that looks almost identical. Maybe somebody's blinking in the mid-blink or somebody's yawning, and at least this way you can pick the best photo out of the bunch. So quite often, photo is the biggest consumer of your phone's memory. 2, text messages. Do you ever get photos or pictures or funny pictures or a cat video from a friend? And maybe you send to other people cat videos. Just remember, whenever somebody sends you a cat video, that cat video is actually taking up space on your phone. So some people will save their text messages forever. Mail, I've seen people's mail inbox with thousands and thousands of email in there. Some of them are junk, some of them are advertising, and some of them are legitimate. Then there are files, meaning, let's say you create a letter to your doctor, and that letter is sitting on your phone, plus any other miscellaneous items you may have on your phone. So there are a couple of options. First step, it's going to be free. It's fairly simple, but it's going to take your time. You need to go through your photos, and you may have 4 or 5 pictures of a single gathering. You may want to look at all the pictures and delete any one that is not so great and just keep the best ones. And maybe, Apple has something, I don't know if other phones will have the same feature, and I think they do. And it's called the burst mode. And you can take one picture, but the phone is actually taking maybe 10. So you can later pick out the best one. But if you didn't go through it, you'll end up with the 10 pictures or more that looks almost identical. So you need to go through those, organize it, and pick the best ones and throw the rest of them away. Text messages or the cat video or a funny picture somebody else sent to you, looked at it, and if you really don't want to keep it, get rid of it. And go through your old emails or your junk mail or trash folders, and you say, let's say you come across an email and you say, oh, I don't want it anymore, so you trash it. Well, depending on how you have your phone set up, your mail system set up on your phone, junk and trash may end up on your phone and staying there. You just can't see it. What you need to do is empty out that junk mail folder or trash folder. You can set it up so anything that's in the junk mail will go away automatically after 10 days, or trash folder after so many days. So you need to review your old emails. Now, all of this, it's not going to cost you anything. And but it's going to take you time. There's some other options. Some of them are simple. Others require a little thought. And most of these will require some kind of cost. One, you can go and buy a external drive, a disk drive, or a solid state drive. And you can connect it to your phone, and you can get your photos onto that little drive, solid state drive, or a thumb drive, or a flash drive. They're all pretty much, essentially, they mean the same thing. Or you can use, or you can use a cloud service. Apple has iCloud. Google has Google's version of the cloud. Amazon has their version. Microsoft has their version. They all have a free tier, which meaning it's inexpensive, but you don't get a lot of space. And if you pay certain amount of money per month, then you can get more space. Okay. External storage. You can go on Amazon or go to Best Buy and buy a thumb drive or a disk drive. And there are two types. One is solid state drives. That means there is no moving part in that little drive. Or a hard drive. Inside the hard drive, there is a disk that spins, which means something moves inside of that drive. So over time, a hard drive is going to fail. But those are essentially the two options, a solid state drive or a hard drive. My preference, if you have a choice, if you can take your pick, I would pick a solid state drive. Advantage of external storage. It's relatively fast. You connect it to your phone or your tablet, and you can move your data from your phone. Now, I say move. Move means it's no longer on your phone. Copy means duplicate what's on the phone onto the drive, and when it's done, it will be on the phone and on the drive. So you will have two copies of it. And if you want to save space on your phone, you have to move it away from your phone and put it on the drive. Advantage with external storage is you can buy 2 thumb drives or 3 thumb drives. You can put different things on different drives, or you can have this week this month I'm going to use solid state drive number 1, and next month I'll use 2, and the month after that I'll go back to 1. So you can alternate back and forth. Disadvantages. There is an initial purchase cost, and depending on how big that drive is, it can be $50 or $100. And there are some cheaper, some more expensive, but 50 to 100 is the usual range. Because they're so relatively small, you could misplace it and you could lose it. And you could drop it by accident, and you will end up with some hardware problems, meaning essentially all the data you have stored on it are gone. And another disadvantage is you physically have to do something. You have to find this thumb drive, connect it to your phone. You have to manually say, I want to take this picture, that picture, that picture, move it off onto the thumb drive. And you have to remember which one you have moved or copied or backed up. So it's up to you to track what data or what picture is on which drive. And let's say that is a choice you made, which is use some kind of external drive. Let's say you fly to a different city and to visit your relative, and you may not have that picture with you because it may be home on your hard drive or on your thumb drive. So you're not going to have it with you unless you end up physically just carrying this little drive in your purse or in your pocket. So that's a disadvantage. A cloud service, you can use cloud service as an extension to your phone's memory. Now, all phones comes with a standard amount of memory. Some phones comes with 32 gigabyte. Some phones come with 128 gigabyte. Every phone is a little bit different. And whatever the phone comes with, that's pretty much what you will have. And that memory is used to store photos, email, text, everything else. Now, to make use of them, you have to physically sign up with some providers that offers cloud storage. Amazon has Amazon Photos. Google has something called Google One. Microsoft has something called the OneDrive. Apple has something called iCloud and Dropbox, and they're all cloud storage service. Think of it as your little own thumb drive, except it's not a thumb drive. It's somewhere on the internet. And that someplace could be in the Seattle area. It could be in New York or Chicago, or in fact, that cloud storage could be in Europe, right? And you really don't care where it is as long as you're able to get to the data. Now, different offering from different companies, they are not the same. Like Amazon Photos, it is really designed for photos, and it is not usable for files or text messages. So you have to really study up on what each one of these companies offers. Now, earlier I said, if you have a thumb drive and you're putting stuff onto the thumb drive, you accidentally drop it and you end up wiping it out, or you stepped on it. Cloud service, that may happen over there too, but the cloud service actually makes multiple copies of your data because you are paying them money. So they are guaranteed to keep your data secure and backed up. So in case they have a hardware or a disk problem, they can get the data back. So it's more reliable. Now, this was what I checked on last week. And these are different offerings by different companies. And by the way, it's definitely not limited to the 5 I have in this table here. The top one, Amazon. And let's go to the second one first. Amazon Photos. It's prime. Again, as I said, it's really for photos and videos. If you are a Prime user, meaning Amazon Prime, if you are a Prime user, meaning you are already paying some kind of money to be a member of Prime, Amazon will let you store unlimited number of photos at no additional cost. For those who are not Amazon Prime users, you can get Amazon Photos for 5 gigabytes worth of photos, no charge. Next increment up is 100 gigabyte. That's $2 a month, or 1 terabyte, and that is 1 followed by 9 zeros. That's not number of photos you can save, but that is the total number of storage to hold your photos. So it's 1 terabyte. Oh, gigabyte is, what did I say earlier? Gigabyte is 1 followed by 9 zero. A terabyte is 1 followed by 12 zeros. All right. And it costs $6.99 a month. And again, Amazon Photos are just for photos and videos. Google has one called Google Photo. You get 15 gig space for free. Then here are the incremental costs for different amount. Microsoft, I don't think they have a free tier. Microsoft, it starts out at $20 a year for 100 gig. Apple iCloud, you get 5 gig free. And from that point on, it's 50 gig for $1 a month, or 200 gig, $3 a month, or 2 terabyte, or $10 a month. It all depends on what you need. You can start out by going to this tier. When you run out, you go to the next tier. Advantages. Now, if you have an external drive, you have to pick a time at home and connect this external drive to your phone and move or copy or back up your phone's photos onto this little thumb drive. Cloud service is happening all the time. So anytime you take one picture, that picture automatically gets started to upload to iCloud, and it is stored on the iCloud or any of the other cloud service. So this happens continuously for your photos, your files, or your data. And whenever you create a new photo or you create a new file, let's say you have a file for some kind of diary, daily diary. The second you make a change to it, it gets copied to a cloud service. And all the photos, files, and data are always available anywhere as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection to the internet. And all the data is secure. So you can, depending on which service you pick, you have all the data, all the photos with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Disadvantages. There is a monthly or annual fee. Some cloud services do have full access to your photos and data. Now, let me explain what that is. Like Google Photos, they store your photos, but they also go through your photos. And they can say, all right, this face in this picture looked like another person we know. So it can link and say, oh, you have a picture of Joyce in one of your photos, and here are all the other photos on in the cloud. May not belong to you, but Google knows about it, and it will tell you there are other photos out there. I think you can set it so you don't want Google to have access to it, to do that type of thing. And Amazon Photos, it's very similar. they do have access to your photos. So it's not totally private, but they're not sharing it with anyone else. All right. But they do have access to it. And for my personal use, I have Apple iCloud because I have Apple iPhone. And it is the most convenient. I don't have to be make an effort to back up my data, to move my data off. And if I decide to be lazy, not to go through all my photos, it just automatically gets backed up to cloud, to Apple iCloud. And I'll always have it with me. And I can look at any of the pictures going as far back as 10 years. And so, yes.
I have an iPhone and I'm using the Microsoft OneDrive.
Okay.
It took a little bit of organization, but I had to download a OneDrive app onto my phone, but it was able to copy the photos every time I open the app. So it's not instantaneous, like I think iCloud is. Maybe I could set it so it ran in the background, but I just assume not have a whole bunch of stuff running in the background all the time, uploading while I'm on cell service or whatever. But it works really efficiently, and I've been able to then easily access it with my computer. And unlike you, I use a Windows computer, so that's sort of how I ended up with OneDrive as the option. And they do offer 5 gigabytes, I think, free if you have
Okay.
if you have if you have a Microsoft account.
But
But the rest of the prices are right.
Okay. Yeah, the cloud service, there is a definite advantage no matter who you pick. And so you'll always have access to all of those photos or files or whatever it may be. One thing you can also do with, I know, Google Drive, Amazon, I'm not sure, I don't know enough about Microsoft, but you can have it so let's say you decided to use Google Photos. Google can take your photos and copy it, save it onto Google Cloud, and then wipe out the picture that you have on your phone. So you don't have the same picture in 2 different places, right? And your photo is only saved in the Google service or Amazon service. So if your phone is full of photos, those services will be great. You can just tell it to take all my pictures, put it on your cloud, and clean me up and get rid of all the photos on my drive. But you
Of course, if the internet goes down,
yeah,
you don't have access to anything.
Right. If the internet is down, or you, let's say, end up visiting a friend, and the friend is in a place where there's no cell service, and your friend doesn't have a Wi-Fi connection, well, you can't get to your stuff. All right. So that's a choice. But if you have a thumb drive, if you know beforehand you're going to visit this person, you can take your thumb drive with you. So you can have access to your photos. So there are different choices, and they're all a little bit different. And it really depends on what your situation is and what it is that you want to get out of a offline storage or a cloud storage or external drive. So, and I will be happy to sit down with you and any of the other tech person over at the senior center. And I understand that we're going to have a few more, which is great. And So whether it's Apple, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Android or any other device, we'll be happy to sit down with you and help you figure it out.